does appear that the sun is rising now. If that's the case, I should probably go and make my way over there. Lest I am late again and she gives me quite the earful for missing out on our morning ritual.
Perfect person to help me figure the mail out. Perfect.
Good morning, Vena.
Good morning.
Right on time. Hopefully I did not miss them.
Miko. Quite dark out.
Good morning to you, I saw.
You seem waiting expectantly.
As I am in most mornings. It seems to be a enjoyable start to my morning to make sure that I spent the first few moments of being up with friends.
Start out your day with a smile and you'll wear it for the rest of the day.
Is that how it works? I suppose I should try that sometime.
If you'll excuse me, I'll see you up at the cafe if you happen to stop in.
Oh, I most certainly will. Worry not about that.
Oh,
Good morning, Miko.
Good morning, Lotea.
And how are you, my friend?
Well, certainly much better now that I have started my morning properly.
For you, my dear friend. You seem to go through this a lot faster than sometimes, so enjoy.
Well, I can't exactly help it. When something is so good,
Well, I know how
you can't wait, but look forward to the next time that you get to enjoy it, and then before you know it, you have nothing left.
Good morning, Ice Heart. Well, I am glad that you enjoyed my tea.
So that
That
I'm
brings
not left
a
holding
smile
on
to
to
my
it
face.
for a long period. I'll get this set down, but I will immediately come find you because I feel that we have sometimes woefully had little time with each other.
I know. Well, I will be up in the cafe for a little bit, and then we can maybe sit down and have some tea together and talk.
It has
I
been
would
a
like that.
It has been a while since we've got to enjoy that. I would love it.
Indeed. Well, then I shall see you shortly, my friend.
Of course. A weekly ritual of sorts. Something cherished from someone you care about. This is definitely different. Good morning.
Hi. Morning.
You're certainly energetic this morning.
Yee. Oh.
Anything in particular, or just happy to start your morning? You are a treat. You are certainly a treat.
Right, so, am I leading the way?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not going to get hit by your backpack.
Fine, fair enough.
Ah, but that's such a good way to start your day, Zila.
Right.
Yes, if I don't want to remember much.
Of course, of course.
Morning.
Stairs crowded again.
Or not?
No.
Okay.
They tend to do that, don't they?
Fabulous.
Hello.
Anything new in the paper today?
Not that I have seen yet.
Rather busy today.
Started reading it now.
Excuse me?
Well, we typically are in the mornings. That's when.
I appreciate
Good morning, Miko.
Good morning, Rosita.
it. Thank you.
See,
Good morning, Zilla. Good morning, Mana.
not very long at all. Like
Good
I
morning.
said.
No, not long at all, indeed.
Morning.
What can we get for you this morning?
Do you have any specials today?
That's a good question. Sienna, do we have anything?
Honestly, I haven't prepared anything, but I'm sure we can put something together if looking for something strange.
I'm sure we have some
If the only
fish on
thing
the
fresh in the way of
Sure we
tea,
do.
Some
you
sort
should
of
ask Otea about what she just brought.
sandwich.
Hmm.
Well, the normal 4 that I have. Also, Rashida, for you.
We do have some more grilled fish this morning.
Thanks, Otea.
Bits fresher than
Right.
we had before.
How's the flour doing in your room?
Alright,
We have more
I'll
eggs in
take
if you'd like toast.
Seems to be
Yes,
alright.
that's as
Oh,
well.
that
I'm
sounds
trying to
good.
keep it
I'll have
close to the,
2
we only
pastries,
have
1
window
grilled
upstairs,
fish,
so I'm trying to
1
keep it
black
near
tea
that.
with cream and sugar, and
Okay.
1 jasmine tea.
If anything, I can always come by and take a look later. Just to make sure.
Very well, I will start getting that.
Then let me get out of your way.
Alright, thank you.
Now then.
You've gotten your
Yeah,
business
I've had my morning
of
drink.
dropping off the
Hmm.
How about you? Cecil? How are you?
much needed tea
I'm doing
supplies.
good. How about you?
Of course.
That's
I feel like with the colder
Actually.
with the colder
Well,
days
I've
coming,
obviously
it's going to be
strange times, but-
well,
Oh,
a lot more that I'm going to have to
it's
stock
been
for
easier
them.
Peace now. All of mine are
Most
happy and
certainly.
warm.
do what I'm better at.
We would be
Hmm.
very
Always nice though to
we would
have
be
tea.
very unhappy
On a
if we
cold
were
day.
to have to
Past
go
has
through the
happened,
cold
future
of winter
is
without a
done,
warm
so
cup of tea.
we must live in the present.
Indeed, indeed.
Hmm.
I feel more useful. It's hard to say useful, but
Well,
I understand.
speaking of which, would you like to go and share some tea together
more like me, I guess.
while we have the time?
Yes. It seems that I have
It's
been,
good to see you happy.
especially on these days that they have their. I believe
it's
this
too
is the
cold.
day that our neighbors have as a break day of sorts from their usual activities.
Ah,
And starting to become
That's
rather.
why they're always around.
Hmm. At least that seems to be it. It seems to be some sort of weekly cadence to them. And that they all just
I see.
do it on the same day. Make something out of it.
how interesting. Oh,
But to answer your
at least it
question,
provides them with the way.
yes.
Hmm.
Could you happen to grill some fish for me? Someone ordered.
Okay, then I will. Then we shall do that. Ice Heart, my dear, I will see you later then.
Yes, ready to me to go.
Enjoy the tea,
To
my
that
friend.
table over there.
Were you
Yeah.
saying something to me, though?
I was not.
I said I will see you later.
Cheers.
After you.
Yes, if
Uh,
you can
oh,
hold my hand, that'd make my
if you
morning.
have
You
a good
heard
day
that.
Of course.
And if you see
it's just
Mr.
these two
Turl
teas
on
and
your
then
travels or
fish.
wherever you're off to, do let him know that I'm looking for him.
Of course, of course. Sienna, I will be down in my place if you need me.
Of course. It was good to see you this morning. I'm sure we'll see you.
Of course.
Thank you,
Well, good
thank
morning
you.
to you,
Have an
Vixen.
old-
Good morning.
Thank you, thank you. Excellent service here. Your lovely dame here. She really helped me out this morning. She escorted me up. I was also frightened and alone, and she showed me the way. Thank you so much.
Aw,
Not the first time
We'd all
that
be
you had
lost
to
without
escort
her.
a noble into an inn.
indeed.
So,
Surely, truly lost. I shall wait
Shall we, my friend?
turn in line.
Yes.
Rashida, if you need me, I will be at my place.
I don't know
I'll be
the
back
building
later.
order.
Alright,
What can we
Latia.
get for you?
We must get down these stairs quickly, lest we find ourselves lost on them like poor Vixen. Hmm.
Now then, how have you been lately?
I would say. I am better. Would be the best way to put it.
That's good to hear.
Hmm. Put on whatever
I'm
you
always
like.
glad to hear that you're doing well.
I like whatever you offer.
Well then. Then I will happily do so, my friend.
But like I said, I
So-
am better. It has been a bit of an interesting week.
Yes. Has been for me as well.
It certainly has, given your most recent addition to your garden. A very curious thing.
So you saw that, did you?
I did. That's not exactly a very common...
What do you think?
It's not exactly a very common sight. By any means.
Well, I guess I should ask you then. Do you know what they are?
It has been a while since I last saw anything similar to it. It could be a number of options, but I'm not sure if I know the exact one.
Well, Eterna Rose. A very uncommon flower. Among the elves, the elfkin.
Yes.
They are a symbol of family.
Yes, and if I remember correctly, one that also takes quite a long time to grow. Did someone bring one to you?
You could say something like that.
Alright, better question, because I feel like you already know the answer. Was it already grown?
Perhaps.
And do all eternal roses have that faint tingle of magic upon them? Or is this one special?
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. Just some flowers sing a bit differently than others. And some of them just have a unique feeling to them. This one had something like that.
I did not know you were so well versed in flowers.
Well, I can say that they were sometimes a bit more friend to me than those directly around me. Flowers don't judge you see. They are simply there, adding beauty into the world when sometimes you do not feel that there is much of it around you.
It's true.
There was a person I knew a few years back, maybe 5, 7. I lose track at this time. She was quite fond of flowers. It was... You could tell by the way that she always grew more animated whenever there were a lot of them in the vicinity. Seeing that
a joy of the natural beauty.
Seeing that rose of yours, that pearlescent white of the petals, reminds me of them a bit. They were always the type to wear white, pristine and prim and proper. She absolutely despised me because I refused to wear anything of that sort while near them, and yet somehow still looked immaculate while doing so.
Well,
there was something about that girl that I just couldn't help but poke and prod at their manner of living. They
Oh,
needed to lighten up on themselves from time to time. Sometimes I wonder if they're still doing alright despite their path that they're walking. I can't exactly say that I think that it is deserving of someone like them, but they had been on my mind as of the past week because of something
the recent
said.
events with the Empire, perhaps.
Not even that, although perhaps partially so, given what they want to become.
Oh.
It was more a comment said to me by one of the other denizens of Valis.
And what was that, my friend?
I had confided something that I thought was rather, well, personal, maybe even a bit embarrassing, but all the same, the truth. And that I have not written a letter to anybody in a long time. I have not received one, I have not sent one, because I did not really find myself... I never really had any that I feel would ever feel the need to send me a letter. And I truly doubt that there is anybody that I know that would be happy to receive one from me.
I would. I would love to receive a letter from you.
But why would I need to send you a letter? You're right here. You would be much happier if I were to just come to you in person and tell you what I needed to say.
Of course. But what if... What if, though, our paths diverged? One way or another, perhaps. And, you know, we had to go our separate ways for a time. I would still very much love to remain in contact with you. Getting a letter from you would be... well, a highlight of my day.
I suppose I never really thought about the potential of being away. Usually whenever that happens for me, it's... a goodbye is a goodbye.
Well, I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. So, it may not be something we have to worry about for a time.
It is not you that I am worried about in that regard.
Are you worried that you will have to go somewhere?
It typically is the way of things for me. Sooner or later. It has always been that case. For the path that I find myself on.
We all have our journeys, Miko. And though... well... I think if the time comes that we would have to part ways, I think I would very much would like to remain in contact with you as best as we can. You are someone who has... well...
Jack, can I get a D20, please?
you are a delight to be around. Even though... well, let's say, as I know you, you're not one who likes people to force themselves upon you. You like the quiet time with someone. Just to share tea together, perhaps. And those are things I enjoy too. And I have come to cherish these times that we're sharing. They are special, meaningful.
Sometimes I feel like these things are a bit meaningful in that they, to me, feel like they could be fleeting. Like the vestiges
Time
of
is
fall
always fleeting.
going on to winter.
Such is the nature of time, my friend. It is why we make the most of what we have. Even we of the long-lived. We have a finite time ourselves.
We? Oh, you were talking about yourself.
Yeah, Mike.
Sorry. I thought you were implying something.
I mean, unless you are, but I have seen no indication. I will not pry. That is not my place. But
The reason that I fear a day that I would have to say goodbye, dear friend, is quite simple. Whenever I usually say goodbye, it's because something has irreversibly changed about the way that I would interact with the people around me. I've had to do that a lot.
I see.
I've had to change a lot in my time. And yet all throughout,
As one
it
does
doesn't
through
feel
a journey.
And yet all throughout, I never feel like I am ever me in that process.
Well, then let me ask you a question, my friend. What is you? Who do you see yourself as? Who do you want to see yourself as?
That is a good question, isn't it?
It's a question that often posed to us as we're growing. What do we want to be? What do we want to see? How do we want to better the world?
That answer feels like it would be as difficult as trying to grasp the petals of a lotus, as it were, on its last breath, each one falling away and blowing on in the wind. Beautiful once, but fading away. And then all that is able to be remembered about it is the fact that it would be associated with death. It is hard to see the kind of value that I would have in this day. Pay attention to what I just said there.
You see... Do you know what I see in you? Go. I see someone who wishes to have someone close and confide with, to have a friend who will stand beside them, no matter what happens. Maybe perhaps I'm wrong, but that is what I see through you.
You're not entirely wrong. It's not even something that I thought I ever wanted. That's become a bit
And
more
yet,
of a
now that you have someone.
recent feeling.
Hmm.
Admittedly, you scare me quite a lot, Altea.
I hope in a good way.
You scare me
I would hate to
because
scare you in a bad way.
You scare me because you are genuine in how you feel, without any reservations about it. You're very much like her in that regard. It's something I only recognize because I see a lot of similar traits. And yet over time, I cannot help but feel like that she had grown to hate me for simply being myself. I would hope that doesn't happen to you as well, but more so, that genuine feeling towards others. I know you will scold me for this, but I do not feel that it is deserved towards me. Not for... Not for a lotus whose petals are already falling away. Not finding anything that makes them feel beautiful.
What if there was?
It is far too late
I
for
think
that for me.
Are you sure about that?
I have known that. I want you to know me, and yet I am terrified of you knowing me, because I feel that would change everything.
And as I've told you before, my friend, I am not one to judge, and I do not change my mind on someone so easily. I am not like one who will like you 1 second and hate you the next. I am not that kind of person.
Do you truly mean that?
Yes.
Even if it was something that would... Never mind. I shouldn't ask a question like that.
Tell me, Miko, what are your thoughts on the Empire? To change the subject a little, but I have a purpose for doing so. If you would humor me.
Of course. The Empire is one of the biggest reasons why I feel that I am neither one that can seek good things, nor do I feel that it is good for the needs of the many. I carry no love for them, and yet, for what I feel must happen, I would have to play nice with them for a change.
I see. Then let me ask you one more thing. You know the Empire's views towards those who have what they call the lesser magic, yes?
Painfully familiar, yes.
Mm.
I've seen so many of my people persecuted for far less. That is but one of the many excuses.
I see. You asked me then if I would truly not hate you for something that is what you've done, or something that you view. But I would also ask the same question back to you. Would you hate me for something that I did, or that I have done?
I have no right to hate anybody for something told to me in confidence. For whatever you have done, I have done far worse. Something as light as disrupting the peace of a place that felt like it could have promise, and in selfishly reaping the benefits of that place anyways.
I see. Then I wish to ask you something. Would you still remain a dear and treasured friend, and not run when something goes wrong? Would you be willing to share with me in confidence? As I am willing to share you.
That
Would you be a friend?
That would depend on if you are okay being friends with a disaster like I am. I do not have many friends. I think I can only count them on but one hand that I would call friend. And none of them
Well then,
know me. They know
all but one, perhaps?
They know a mask. All of them do. And they are different ones, in fact.
I see. Then I believe I know my answer. And in that regard, I would like to show something to you. Do you trust me?
Despite how it may sound with the way I talk at times, I do.
Well then, come. Let me show you something. Something special. You saw the flowers, yes.
I did.
And
Like
you
I
asked a
said,
very good question about them.
they are one that I know very well. Their name is Eterna, both for the fact that they are one that lives for a long time, But in that same breath,
Yes.
many who tried to cultivate them say that they take an eternity in themselves to ever sprout. It is, in a sense,
A
an
full
ironic
year,
name.
in fact.
Hmm.
A full year, in fact, from seed to bloom. And yet, here they are, flourishing in my garden. You asked the question, were they sent to me in full bloom? The answer is no, they were not. And now I know the next question in your mind. How then are they beflowered in this garden?
Perhaps that special
right?
song that they feel. Like I said,
Come,
they sing a far different song than the other flowers and plants here.
give me your hand. No. Watch. As you do, the whole flower plant seems to glow and resonate with the magic that is flowing through it from Lutea. The plants grow, they flourish, they shimmer in her magic. What was once harvested from the jasmine flowers rebloom in mere moments, ready to be harvested again. The roses take on a brilliant shimmer, seemingly growing even more. And that song you heard seems to resonate with it.
I suppose this answers the question of how you were able to have such a steady supply of those things that I love so dear.
Mine is the gift of nature. I'm sorry. Forgive.
No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting that to be something you asked of me.
Mine is the gift of nature. To make things grow. To make things bloom.
In that sense, you give more life than the... for all that they profess about the greater magics, and how they are what enables the way of life for people here. Let us show
Yes.
more life-giving ability in a mere seconds than centuries that I've seen.
This one is for you. This rose is for you. You are... As I said, they are seen as a symbol of family. And you've become someone who I feel belongs in my... I know you'll take good care of it. You would see that it's not cut at the stem. The roots are still there. Should you need help taking care of it, be happy to come by.
Yes, I'm sorry, just No one's ever given me something before. Let alone something that has this much meaning attached to it. I'm not sure how to react. I'm not sure how normal people react to that regard. I haven't had much practice of
Everyone
that.
reacts differently. There is nothing wrong with that. You are someone who has become near and dear to me. One who has decided to share and open up her feelings to me.
Well, seeing as we are exchanging at least something of note. Earlier I mistakenly thought that you were talking about both of us when you said we who are long-lived. You wouldn't have to worry about me disappearing for any if I were to disappear, it would not be because of that.
See,
I've told you I've been around a while. I am.
Then
It has been many whiles. I suppose in a way that is why I understand the song that I heard without needing to see it. But now that I have, it is that much clearer, that much more vibrant. And most assuredly,
then I would hope.
just as I told you. Everything about this, everything about you is exactly like her. Right down to the white of these petals. Although she may disagree with the method of it being grown, sadly. But maybe not. Like I said, the people that she seeks to emulate do not deserve her. She was far more graceful than any of them ever could be.
I see.
I wonder if it made it to her.
Then I would hope, Miko, I get to spend more time and many more years. Because I would love that more than anything. If you are willing.
I've already spent more time than I usually would say that I should around you. One day that might make sense why I say that, but
yes.
For now, since it has already gone past a point of no return, I should say, I am trying to enjoy it. Having people like you around is making it easier to do so.
Well, I am glad then to share in your company.
I should probably try to go and give this somewhere proper to plant it. My hands make for a very poor flower pot.
Well, all you really need to do, find a small place to plant it. You can, in a small bowl perhaps, of soil. Just water it a little bit every day. And give it plenty of sunlight.
That won't be a trouble at all. Having that central house is very easy to get good angles for sunlight. I would move it every bit of the day if I had to, so it had the best view of the sun, if it meant it stayed for just a few moments longer. Even if those moments are measured in years rather than minutes.
I will tell you one thing at least. Should you see something worrying appear on the flower, come find me. After all, I can help it grow.
I'm glad that you were able to do something so beautiful with magic. All I can do is something far less noble.
You want to talk about it, and welcome to.
Like I said, if I
As I
did,
said.
I fear it would change a lot if I were to let that last petal fall away from that lotus.
And do you not trust me, Miko? Because I would see that lotus bloom once again.
I trust you. I don't trust myself.
Then I will not push and pry. Should you choose, you want to talk, come find me. And I will happily take the time to sit with you, and to listen, and to not judge.
I will keep that in mind. I'm going to find somewhere to put this where it will be safe.
Very well. I will wait for you back here.
Why did I almost do it in that moment? This is not like me at all. Could probably move this to get it better light. Why does she have to remind me so much of that silly girl? She certainly is like Grace in every way. Would it really be alright? She's passing every test I give her with flying colors. And I hate that she is. Compose yourself. You're fine. You've had a long time to do this.
Well, I'm glad that I didn't eat any diarrhea.
And apparently anyone else who has eaten it may also be sick. Do you know anyone of that description?
Wait, eaten what? Sorry, I
He
just...
ate the dire bear meat from the dire bear that he killed a week ago, I guess, now.
Oh.
I sort of learned what that thing is on the hill.
Oh.
What is that?
One of the UN people said that it was something called a radio tower, something like that. It's supposed to be for communicating long distance.
What, you mean that thing over there?
Oh, so it's like the thing that, yeah, they were telling us about with the boxes, yes.
I see.
Sort of like that.
Yeah. Sienna? Roshida?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
You did that before,
Apologies.
so I kind of noticed. Okay.
I'm having
It's
a weird
okay.
day.
What?
If anyone is throwing up, don't get near them. Apparently there's some illness that Maklo
Oh, her
eating the
you're
diarrhea meat
saying the wrong name.
Well, we're slime.
Try and shake people's legs
It's
back to the
transmitted
table.
via bodily fluids.
Is Michael okay?
What was that?
She apparently has the solution and is helping him now.
That was for Capo.
My apologies.
I will warn you. I know that you probably
I should probably
wouldn't
retract it.
anyways, but just to let you know, it's from. I don't know if he offered anybody around here any of that diabetes meat he got.
You didn't eat any of that,
The
I
way
hope.
that he described it, he only started feeling sick after eating it. He thinks he got cursed by eating it. I sent him to Muselfinks to hope that maybe the apothecary might have some kind of solution, but apparently one of the UN people does.
Giomara's here with him.
Okay.
It was Giomara, yeah.
Who has been confirmed to have been impacted by that?
So if you hear about anybody trying to ask where the
So far, only Maklo, but apparently more of the UN people ate the meat.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. When did we eat it?
Hopefully not the
He
nice
killed it
ones.
He said he's been feeling it for about almost a week now, ever since he ate it. So sometime
Oh, for fuck's sake.
between when he hunted it and now, he ate it. Well, he didn't even. The only reason he brought it up was in passing. He didn't even mean to. He just mentioned he was cursed, and I was like, "Excuse me, what do you mean cursed?"
Never a dull day in Valis.
Apparently not.
And I'm like, "Oh, you're cursed. What caused this?" And he's like, "I think it's from the bear I killed." And
Were they trying to offer any of that meat to the Crystal Heart? I don't recall.
No, not that I remember, unless... I think the only meat we've had in the last few days at least is fish.
Good. I would hate to have to check everything else that we had for if any of that had
not from killing it, from eating it.
somehow spread to anything else, if there was something wrong with that
Yes.
food.
So they're just dead then?
Oh, no, that's. I was trying to get him to Muselfinks as soon as I could, because I thought he was probably just gonna die.
Oh,
But then
will kill him faster.
Giomara came in and said, "I know how to fix this." Like really quickly, as if she already knew that something was happening. Which indicates to me that she probably may have apparently had to deal with it up at the base, because apparently a lot of the people at the UN camp also ate it. So I feel like they probably haven't been in early yet because a lot of them are probably sick.
That would probably explain why we haven't
That
seen any of them
makes
out and
sense.
about. Usually a couple of them have made their way here by now.
Yes, normally that would be the case.
In fact, I'm pretty sure most of the people that are currently in town have been the overwhelming majority of people who I have seen in town, period, today. So.
Yes. The same would be said of me. I haven't exactly been looking around for people as of yet, but...
I need to eventually talk to Musophanx. I imagine he's probably at his hut or out in the forest, maybe up at the UN camp? I don't know.
I saw him in the morning. He crossed the bridge to go to the UN base. I assume he's there if you don't find him anywhere else.
And if they are worried about this condition that people have, they are probably wrapped up in it, given their tendency as of late to have been helping out with those regards. They seem to have made quick friends.
I know it's a long shot, by the way, Miko, but you wouldn't happen to be interested in hunting, would you?
I suppose it depends on what kind. What did you have in mind?
Just hunting, period. I'm trying to gather up a meeting sometime today of as many hunters as I can to try to get people to go hunting for provisions for the town. Because winter's coming and we're getting kind of low on food.
It has been a while since I have hunted, but I could be present for that. At the very least, offer help.
That would be nice. Just
Well,
having as many people as we could would honestly be nice.
Well, if you figure out a time, I will try to make myself available.
Okay.
So I can at least hear out the plan, but I am fairly certain that at least in some way I should be able to provide assistance. Actually?
I wonder if... What do you think the chances are that we could convince any hunters from the other side to, you know, actually chip in the town rather than their base?
Well, if I were to judge their motivations, one of the things that at least some of them want to do is try to cultivate good relations with at least the people of Valis, if not the wider if it were framed like that as a good way to engender good relations between the people here, I'm sure
community.
There would be some that would be probably more helpful on that front. However, they may also not be fully aware of the reality of how harsh the winter can get in making travel here, and ultimately, struggling supplies on our part could mean struggles for them. I do not know how they gather their material. I'm sure they likely use the means of the divide in order to do so, but they may perhaps be sympathetic to that.
They aren't able to do that all the time, you know? We might be able to convince them to be like, hey, it benefits both of us, you know? So...
Well, if you would like to pitch that case and you need someone else who is familiar with the reality of what that is like, I am more than happy to come with you and present that information. anything to make it a bit easier for you to do this, as it seems that it is something you very much believe is a good idea, and I would be inclined to agree.
Oh, it's beyond necessary to get food.
Well, given
especially
that,
with the bear incident.
especially
Then that just means that's that much less food.
well, I mean, especially that, and if they happen to have people that are familiar with ways to avoid such things, then all the better. But seeing as we are on
Yeah,
maybe
there's
last
some way that you
supply,
can tell that we just don't know.
one of our last supply runs with Nixa, before likely the paths will become too insurmountable.
Sometime in the coming weeks, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I would be.
I'm glad you heard about that. I've been trying to tell people.
There's no one around.
Yes.
That's fine.
I may not always be the most sociable with everybody, but I do listen. Listening is one of my good suits, I would like to say.
I quite enjoy listening too. Hello.
Listening is the first way to understanding, after all.
Hello, Mayor. I'm
Hello.
sorry. I'm a bit in my head because a friend of mine is sick at the UN base.
Were they one of the ones that had eaten that meat?
Yes. I cannot say his name proper, but the tall tiefling man with the pale skin.
Oh! Oh my gosh, you're right.
I
you
know.
did mention that he...
I know exactly who you're talking about, and I
That would
cannot
make
say their name
sense.
properly either.
That would actually
I
make
call
sense
him-
because...
Yeah, I call him Flower.
Flower? That makes sense why you called him Flower earlier, because I was trying to figure out, I was like, who's Flower? And then you described him, and I was like, oh, okay. Because of the
Yes.
sword.
Yes. He's
Right,
very
that's
sick.
so-
He could barely speak and
Oh.
could barely move.
Oh
The people there
no.
were taking care of him. I'm quite worried.
Do you think he ate a lot of it then?
I could check around here on the yonder.
I do not know.
Luckily, we have the destroyed marketplace.
I don't
if you
know
were to
who else
follow
ate
the
it,
nooks and
but,
crannies, you would just see more homes.
I believe
if they ate
they-
any
Some
of
the
it
shops
raw,
have signs,
it might be bad for
outside
them.
of town and for
I believe Musafinks is over there,
And I believe
potentially
there is
helping
another
with it.
Oh,
They've been.
Yeah, I was trying to find him to help Maklo, but
Yeah,
turns
this year,
out
Hazel.
he was over
I'll wait for him
there,
to finish the
so...
conversation. Let's wait for him over there then, just in case.
Yes, of course.
And I'll be
Good
off.
morning.
Good morning.
Take care of a few other things then.
Right.
Good luck.
I also need to take care of things, but nobody's around right now for me to take care of those things.
The struggles of needing other people to do things, and
a lot of sense sometimes.
when you're reliant on other people, it makes it so hard to do things.
I wouldn't quite say reliant on other people, more like I just need to talk to these people,
I
but I
know.
can't talk to them because...
Truly a difficult situation.
The issue is that the town is kind of reliant on hunters, and we don't have many of those ever since the Battle of the Blood Moon. So
Yes.
hunters are able to provide for themselves and whatnot, but
I would
unless
not
we can
but
get
like
them to work towards a common goal, we won't be able to get enough for the town.
I agree. Like I said, I have never seen myself as a hunter, but I have had to sustain myself in the past, and that does require knowing basics of how to quickly and efficiently take something down, if needed. Thus, if it is... if it is as dire as you say, then everybody must do their part. Including me.
Indeed. Like, it's not quite dire yet, but it's like very quickly on the track of becoming dire because there's so many new people in town and whatnot.
A lot of new people, some supplies. I feel like there's less supply coming in than out, at least with the visitors, as well as they have been partaking in the things that we offer, and, well, there isn't a...
Well, I've gotten them to work on a few things. Like, do you see that thing all the way up on the mountain over there?
Yes, you were saying that was the, that radio tower thing, yes?
Yes. And I got them to position something over here, so that eventually we can benefit from it too, not just them.
Interesting. Some of their things that are akin to almost magic in a way. At least,
Indeed.
At least how some of them are trying to describe it.
He was describing it to me. When he was describing it to me, I was like, excuse me. And eventually, you know, when everything's set up, eventually it'll be something that people can use, but right now it's not ready. But
such is the way of things.
Something like that could be very beneficial to have, you know?
Oh, certainly. Especially with, well, Valis being a bit on our own as it is. Given that the...
Oh. Hello, Mr. Williams.
Oh, so great and wonderful empire has put their censure upon us.
You see, they're starting to come in, finally.
Mm-hmm. I see. It was only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time. I'm gonna head down near the front gate to see if I can
intercept people as they come in.
They get distracted doing other things. Yes.
Before they hide away in houses or other...
Exactly.
Places that are so hard to see. Yes.
I know, I needed to talk to the mayor.
Oh dear.
Mayor.
They're going to... Walk and talk to the front gate, dear, otherwise you'll never make it.
Okay. Mayor? Mayor's here, right?
Sorry, Miko.
Hello, Rashida.
Mayor, I believe you're all busy, so I do want to make this quick. Let's do a walk. Is it open or?
I believe they said the cafe is closed for the meantime.
Yes, it is currently inactive at the moment, I'm afraid. Was there something that you were hoping to get here?
No, I am just enjoying my day.
Very well. Well, even if the cafe is closed, the terrace is not, so you are more than free to enjoy yourself wherever you wish, as long as it's somewhere right here. If you're up there, I'd have questions.
Oh. I don't even know how to get up there.
I'm looking for the mayor.
They are doing a walk and talk towards the front gate. I believe Huckleberry, I believe is his name.
Mr. Huckleberry.
Mr. Huckleberry.
Oh.
You probably walked by them, in fact.
Stole my client.
Stole
my client.
Stole your client?
No, I was not the... I have to... I'm just... It's an inside joke, don't worry about it.
I understand what a client is.
There is a cart full of bear meat. Yeah, there is a cart full of bear meat near the entrance that I have asked the mayor to quarantine to keep...
Yes, we've heard about it.
Away.
Apparently
We
making
have to
people
burn all of
sick. Oh.
Yes, you have
That's
to burn
bad.
all of it and make sure nobody eats it and nobody gets close to it. If they have cuts on their hands, have them not touch them. It's sick with a bacterium which is
what?
it has a sickness that gets into your blood. It's a sickness.
Okay.
It gets into your blood
Right.
through if you eat it or if you have cuts on your hands or cuts anywhere on you. It will get into your blood. It needs to be eradicated, purged,
I
burnt.
see. They are closed right now, dear. I'm sorry.
Ah, my apologies then.
How are you
Mayor asked me
feeling?
to come and wait here for. Fine. Well,
Hmm.
even.
Yeah, well, all things
Yes.
considered, you feeling better?
I did not see you around anywhere in
Yes.
Valis on the last day that I believe is your weekly free day. They mentioned that one day out of the week.
In case you didn't know, Maclo.
Yeah, just handling a few things.
If you wish to.
Well, hopefully
Ended up
those.
needing to not take a free day.
Well, hopefully those things have now since been handled.
Yes, he's.
We certainly enjoy your company here.
There's a
Somewhat.
dormitory.
Oh, thank you.
Let me check real quick.
He
Are
caught that
they
illness
down there?
that I was talking to her about.
Hmm.
Yeah, he got it from the bear that he hunted, and now he feels a little down
Alright.
because he hunted the bear. That is now apparently causing everyone to be sick.
Well, some things you cannot know. Good morning, sister.
Let me see.
Good morning.
You should be able to find the mayor by the front gate unless she has changed her mind on where she wanted to be. She was trying to catch anybody that is able to assist in hunting to gather them all and have a discussion about what we are going to do to try to address the coming winter.
Glow had, hunted the dire bear in order to help her with that, but unfortunately, all that meat is going to have to go to waste now.
Yes, I know. That is truly a tragedy as well. That said, when it comes to...
You said that it was closed?
Yes. Well,
okay.
the cafe is
we
closed.
We need a glass of water for Maklo. He's thirsty.
I can manage something. Let me, one moment.
Well, actually, I think this one. Excuse me, Miss Visitor. Excuse me.
I was showing you where the door is.
Hello, quick question.
My friend Shara was wondering if anyone had eaten the bear.
Go for
liver,
question.
you said?
The dire bear.
I know the
please.
cafe is closed.
Eat that.
Would I be able to
It
tell
is-
that there are people in
it is
there
contaminated,
right now, or is it actually empty?
Yes.
And if so,
I was simply.
am I able to just pick the lock and not explain why?
People eat the organs.
It's
There.
currently empty.
Well,
Out of character is empty, yeah.
sometimes they
And
get sick.
It's.
It wasn't the organs. It was.
It
It
was
was just locked.
As in, like.
I mean, she would totally be like, yes, I totally have a key, but she'd just be getting the door open, like, get some water for somebody.
Yeah, that
Do
seems
it right,
perfectly
do it
reasonable.
right in front of them, not explain anything. Yes.
Yeah.
Afternoon.
Yeah.
We have a stove.
Don't worry about it, it's fine.
we have a stove. That is true. It's just a little portable stove, but
Yes, I should be able to get you some water. Don't mind too much. Just like that.
You know, the tavern is closed right now, so this will just be a demonstration. So, here and
Anything's a key when you have it. Let's see. Glass. Well, a mug will have to do. Get some water, and here we are.
Fit. Where does it go? How does it? Like I said, there's that weird little chemical right here.
All right.
So that the fire burns.
Where did they go? I need to at least offer this to them.
Yeah, I can remember that. I got that one too.
It's like,
Okay. Anyways, yes.
this is a lizardkin, but they call themselves the Sour.
You were wanting water, yes?
What
Yes,
did
please.
this from?
Yes.
Because it's great. It's actually
Thank you.
still warm.
Well,
Excuse me.
Of course.
someone from the base, let me take one, and then they let me keep one when I brought it back.
Caught you red-handed.
Huh. Okay.
You okay? What are you trying to get?
Hmm.
I suppose that was the warning that I was given, but seems.
Yes. If there was only a way to hopefully restore connections, as they say. That gives me an idea. But yes, thank you for your time. I believe you're a bit busy,
Miss-
so I'll leave
Miss
you. I'll leave you to
Almari.
your
Did the visitor friend mention what needed to be done with that wagon of meat out in the front to you yet?
No, I didn't hear it, but I assume probably just get rid of it because she
Not
said that the
not
bear meat
just-
caused it. You
not
can ask
just-
her right there. She's right there, actually.
No, she had already mentioned it. She not
I am
just to get
back.
rid of it, it needs to be burned. Apparently, nobody with
Be it burned. Okay.
nobody with cuts on them in anywhere should be near it. Or
It's not just-
directly touch it.
Oh.
According to them, it's apparently
that
how
sounds complicated.
someone gets sick.
Ugh, that sounds complicated.
Yes, Lotte.
What
you seem
happened?
to-
The last thing I heard was about the...
Yeah.
The flux took me and it didn't let me go. Forgive me.
I certainly saw. I was truly heartbroken.
Anyways.
But yes,
The last thing I heard was about the dire bear meat being tainted in some
yes. Apparently, at least the word that that lady said, they called it that it had some sort of bacterium in it that is apparently some sort of sickness, and when it if
morning,
somebody
Ron.
with cuts on them were to come into contact with it, it makes them dreadfully ill.
That is not good at all.
Hence
I'm
why-
assuming that they've already informed those in the tavern, in the cafe.
Yes, we were not given any of that meat. They were trying to get it
Oh,
for the
thank
sake
goodness.
of
Okay.
helping
I
with
toggle it
the
and it
coming
was-
winter, but unfortunately, all that meat is
says open for me.
no good.
No longer good. Understood.
It says closed
How
for
can
me
I
as
help you?
well.
I don't
I don't
even-
believe it is synced. Anyways,
Do you know where the captain is?
I
Have you-
actually don't.
have
I have
you-
not seen him all day.
Do you know of any sort of moongrass that
Mhm.
grows around here?
Alright, my boss said that he passed him on his way
That's a good
over.
question. I
I
don't
was just gonna bring him some coffee.
Well, if you see him,
feel
tell
like
him
there
Miko
would be,
says
but-
hello, because I have not seen him at all this morning.
I have heard that the tavern
Which is
I normally use
Sure, I'll keep an
rare.
eye out.
mostly in the north.
Normally, he's everywhere.
Would there be moongrass growing around here? Specifically the kind that Rowan is looking for.
I have been
Please hold.
trying to track that little guy down
One
for
more.
so
Alright.
long for the past few days, and I
Hmm.
cannot find it. It keeps evading me. So
I'm
if we
holding.
have trackers and the hunters
Holding.
helping me, maybe we can finally, track it down and make
Yeah,
sure
that makes
it's
sense.
it's okay.
That makes sense. Have you
So
seen
I would
Reina
very
at all?
much like to
'Cause
come along.
Reina is one of the hunters that I'm looking for. That would be
Which
Varus'
one is
sister.
Reina?
I have not seen anybody
the lady
from.
wolf.
Yes.
I have not seen either of them today.
Neither have I. I haven't seen them all week.
They have been surprisingly absent.
And then statistically interact because I did mine on statistical sociology. And
Actually,
interact in like really strange ways. It's very important.
I have
You sure you
seen.
don't want to join us for a hunt?
That was
Callie
interesting. You
The
haven't
ca-
eaten any of the bear meat, have you?
The captain is down there.
being very firm.
Barry?
Because of how much business relationships I've gone.
And plus, I'm quite lanky myself, so I'm not. I don't think I'm the best person to bring in hunts.
Oh, come now. Surely they would not expect they would not expect it. It would make you super effective.
You know what they say? Like
have
when it comes to
warriors?
being chased.
We have warriors and we have academics. This is clearly an academic.
I see.
Yes, exactly. I can barely even lift the rock without tiring myself out. So.
Noted.
Oh well, she's more valuable than me.
Well, on that note, I don't know if the mayor had mentioned that she wants to try to gather anybody who are, what's the word? Any of the town's hunters to try to find a way to get everyone on the same page for preparing for the coming winter. I don't know what it is like where you are from, but here it gets rather difficult to go places once it sets in, and thus self-sufficiency is
we understand.
paramount. To which I said, and I'm not sure if she has conveyed it, that it might be a good way to engender community between the two, if perhaps any of your people wanted to take part in this venture when it comes time for that.
He has already asked me, and I was actually on my way to go see if anybody at the base would want to join. Unless you were already on your way, at which point you can deliver that message.
Well, here I was trying to convey the news first.
I was gonna go gambling. I heard about the gambling ring opening up. No, it's fine. But I'm quite sorry. I'm quite. What did you mean about
You're trying to
fostering
save the
relationships
village here.
with-
You can go gamble.
Well, at least from what I
mean, forming business, like making the business roll around here is also helping the village. Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Huckleberry, I do
okay.
believe, at least if I understand what some of your people have talked about, that there's at least a desire to have positive relations with the people of Valis. All I'm saying is that it would certainly be a good chance for people to get to know each other and help ensure that this place is able to sustain the increased amount of people that is seen as a lot have arrived in the past months.
Well, I guess I could, a little bit more bonding with the locals here would be quite good for my reputation as well. So,
well, if you're
I
not the
guess,
type who is able to do well with hunting, then that might be a bit difficult, but I'm sure there are likely other ways that you'd be able to assist.
I do have good eyesight, as they say. I could see a bird from a mile away. Like, look, there are 5 birds flying over there right now. Maybe 4. I think it's 3.
Actually, it's
Godless.
6.
Oh, it's the poles blocking the other side. Yes, now I see them. Oh wait, no, there's a one catching by the trail.
So there is.
Yes. But yes. Well, if you guys are planning to do it today,
I don't know if it's going to be today.
Tell you what.
But there'll at least be. The intent is that she would at least like to try to gather anybody that is able and willing to assist in some manner, as that is...
Actually, I may not be a hunter, but I do have some specialties when it comes to foraging, so I might not be able to hunt, but when it comes to collecting trees from stuff, I might be able to help on that, so... Hunting maybe not, but foraging you can count on me.
Well, I'm certain that if there are foragers in the groups going out to hunt, that they'd be able to... The hunters be able to protect the foragers, and if that were the case, I'm sure that you would be more than likely welcomed to partake in that.
Perfect. Well then, I guess you can sort of count me in on that.
Well then...
Whenever the event happens, just ring me up, I guess.
If you are around then when the mayor is gathering interested individuals and helping out with that, if I see you around, I'll make sure to find you and invite you to join in the discussion, and you can bring forth your proposal on how you'd be able to help.
Hi, lovely. I'll find a way, but yes, thank you for your time. I think it's time I go
Yes.
gambling for now.
Yes, go enjoy losing all of your money.
Oh, don't worry about me. I have what they call a gambler's luck.
That's what they all say.
Let's hopefully they recover quickly.
Do you have that glass back?
Oh,
Maybe,
I'm going to go and
Simon,
check up on
give
Maklo
them
right
some
now. He
chamomile
should be
tea
finished
to
with
help
it.
their stomachs.
Yes, I will take it back.
Hello.
We've had a number of some of our
I have.
setting materials go missing over the past few weeks, and I don't want to be responsible for another one disappearing.
I would investigate the bear. No offense, but he's been taking stuff from our... What? I don't want to spread rumors, never mind.
I will keep that in mind regardless. Because Miss Sienna is getting a bit
Is
frustrated.
he okay?
It looks like he's hurt.
That is a valid question.
I'm fine. You told me I
Are
could
you
stand on
hurt?
the other one. Yeah.
Are you
I had
hurt?
my other foot. They say I shouldn't stand on it, so I'm trying not to. It's kind of hard though. I'm finding a doctor.
Oh god, are you bleeding?
Well,
Does it speak?
you've already found Mr. Oh dear.
Yes, unfortunately, he's more interested in trying to find someone to look at his foot. So.
Poor dear.
I'll be back.
Finally, you found your fated friend that you were seeking for so long, and they would rather see a doctor than.
Because I have
Dear
to
my
have a
heart.
few conversations with people, but I'll have something that should be like,
Too much. Too much.
Fair.
I'm sorry.
I think it should be like kind of equivalent, probably.
No, you're fine, darling. If anything, I need the laugh.
Well, I, for one, always enjoy seeing you and make a priority.
Probably best suit you.
Right. Okay.
Well, I quite
Thanks. What
appreciate
was
your
name
company.
again?
Speaking of company, where is the one that's usually in yours, Miss Lotea?
I believe she is up here on the terrace. Unless she has somehow disappeared and evaded my vision again, as she is very good at doing.
She is a wood elf, after all.
She may have wandered inside here, let's see.
Have one.
I know.
It's very controlled. This is specifically why I brought it.
She's in here.
So, just as easy as instead of turning off an entire, like throwing water on an entire fire, all you have to do is it's off. It's gone. Poof.
Fascinating.
The filament on top is still hot, but that will cool down relatively fast. So I'll show you guys all again. This is a portable butane stove. So this is a wonderful way to cook on a stove without having to set up like an entire fireplace, where you'd have to like clean up the ashes afterwards. It's a little bit harder to keep control of. So
Some kind of
there's this
fuel
little.
source, she says.
There is a thing called butane gas. It's a little fuel source right here that we put in.
Good gravy.
And then I light it, and there's the small fire in
You
it.
wouldn't mind going off to your store right quick with me, would you?
Isn't that useful?
Would you
It's
excuse me
certainly,
really quick? I need to
Oh,
pass
sure.
through.
it's certainly curious.
Thank you.
Sure.
Forgive me.
We your friend Sienna indicated that this would be interesting and important to you all. So as a little bit of repayment for allowing us to use your establishment, this hopefully will be at least the start of some of the ways that we can help. I believe. Do you help run this establishment, or is it mostly Sienna?
It's mostly Sienna, but I've been trying to help her since as long as I've been here.
So, what you
There's
can
a
help
number
us
of
with
staff
is
here, at least.
yes. we would like to offer to sell, and I've gotten approval for this, to sell some of our food that is from Earth in this cafe, in the tavern and in the cafe. The only stipulation on that is that you need to have at least one person from the UN working here. So we wanted to allow you all to pick who you would want to work with. You don't have to decide today, but by next week, we'll start to have food being shipped in so that things can be sold here. But it's going to need at least one person on your staff to be part of the UN.
Is there anybody that has expressed interest in that regard?
Yes. There's been at least a couple people who have expressed interest, but that would be one of the girls who isn't feeling very well today. She runs the mess hall on most days. You usually see her around wearing an apron, being very frazzled. Very nice girl. But there's plenty of people part of the UN who would be able to fulfill that role as well. It's up to you all. We don't want to impress or push anybody upon you. So as long as you pick one of our people, we'd very much appreciate it. And then we can start selling things out of here. And since I know we are all preparing for winter right now, the UN has made a personal guarantee to make sure that no matter what happens, we'll be able to send food in here and that nobody will go hungry. It won't be the best food in the world, but we'll make sure that we at least get food here. Obviously, we would be selling it out of here or giving it out depending on how bad the situation is, but yes.
I see.
I'll definitely let Sienna know about all this when she wakes up from her rest.
Okay. That's it for my formal stuff. I'm going to probably go relax for the end of the day. So, if you need anything or you have any questions, or do you want to try out the new stuff? It's great. It's nice and hot.
Is the UN giving propane burners to the cafe or something? What's going on?
We are making arrangements that has been agreed on by the forces above us. Don't you worry.
Okay, cool. Hey, what's your name?
Dr. Anders. It's good to meet you.
Dr. Anders, right. Can I talk to you for a second real quick, in private?
Sure, let me just wrap up with this. So, I'll leave you all to it. If you need a reminder on how to use it, just grab me, okay?
It's 2 seconds.
Yes, I believe I got to the gist of it.
Okay. Yes, wherever you want to talk, please.
Alright, cool.
But maybe this is their establishment that is not open. Come on.
Okay, yeah,
porridge or something simple that won't get too burned.
Yes, if you'd like to, I believe some of the fresher material for something like that will be upstairs. I can go grab a bit of it.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Miko.
A representation of
when they are serving drinks.
God of Death, Egyptian God of Death.
Stepping over your tail, be careful.
And I found Miko.
Were you looking for me?
Yes.
In that case, I will be downstairs. We are trying out this butane stove that they brought by.
Okay, thank you.
What? Dean, never mind. I'm not sure if I want to know yet. Alright, here are the fresh ingredients.
Alright, thank you.
No, normally you do that with blood. You make a blood pact.
By the way, just because I never actually keep track, who all does have a key to this place to be able to open it and allow people to basically do work? Is it just Sienna who has a key, or does anyone else have one?
Me and Sienna so far since we live here.
Ah, I see. People have often asked me, like, you work here, don't you have a key? And I'm like, no. And I always feel bad. Were you able to find him?
Hello.
Yeah, I was. I let him know that you said good morning, and
Perfect.
you know, I would have said, I would have pointed out where he was, but they looked like they were having a serious discussion. It sounded like they were trying to round up the hunting party for gathering more food and whatnot.
Oh, are they doing that now?
Yeah, it seems like they really want to get on that soon, given that apparently winter's not too far away.
I thought they were just going to have a discussion. I didn't think they were going to go out and do anything, because the mayor had even approached me.
Well, I'm not sure if they're going out tonight.
I think they were just going to have a council of sorts on it to get everyone on the same page.
Apologies.
No, you're fine. It's not the first time.
Allow me to reword my my understanding to be as clear as possible. I believe they were tracking down and getting names for people willing to be on the hunting party for further notice, but they're trying to get that figured out ASAP.
Well, I will make sure to let... Well, the mayor already knows about my willingness to help, but I need to let her know that Mr. Huckleberry would like to offer a way to be able to assist, not in the way of hunting, but being a forager that would be with members that are hunting. At least that's what he told me.
Sure.
But anyways...
I mean, I'm the big fixer builder type, so I'm gonna have to sit that one out because I have to be on standby if shit breaks.
It's quite alright.
Is the tavern already open, or are we still on tea today?
No, sorry,
we were
testing out something that the UN people gave us.
Yes, we're...
They needed to bring it in.
Do you have an old pot, like a hot pot of tea that you could pour 2 cups into?
Yes, I believe so. If you can keep doing that. Yes, I can treat them upstairs.
Good to see you again, Riley.
Come upstairs.
Oh.
Yes, it's a god of death, representation of god of death on my arm. It's
Right, you said 2 cups? Anything in particular? I believe we have a few kinds that are still a bit warm.
You have quite a nice amount of different kinds. Surprise me. What would you prefer?
I'm gonna have to defer to you. I have no idea what they have.
Something slightly bitter but yet sweet.
Bitter yet sweet. Understood.
Would remind me of the northern, elven kind of tea.
In that case, I believe we have a bit of chamomile. Let's see here. And if you're wanting it a bit sweet, then I'll just be a little lighter on the sugar.
It usually represents some myth and legends about.
We can get our tea. Would you like to find us a place to sit outside?
All over the world, and it is just not to that.
Yes. Oh, I meant on the balcony.
No one knows about them, they're secret.
Well, here's your tea.
How are you doing today, Miko?
I am doing alright. I feel like I should be asking that more of you. You seemed like you have been a bit...
day, to say the least.
You seem like you have been a bit in your own mind lately. At least from a...
seem that way.
At least from an outside perspective, maybe I'm wrong.
It's basically an eye.
But
you're the person who works in the tavern and has anyone come around calling me a pretender or out of his mind.
I know exactly what you're talking about. At least, not today,
everything
but
is going good for me.
About a week ago, I had, been regaled with that, subject?
Well, some people came by the shrine earlier today, and then I was told by someone that I was,
A pretender? A heretic?
the villain in a story.
Oh.
Which I am more than happy to be, if the truth gets out.
Yes.
Thank you for the tea. You always know where to find me.
I do.
Very wonderful. But I also need to speak to that one. Wonderful
That's
woman.
quite alright. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
I will. I might find you later. You know?
We'll see.
If you are free, of course. I don't know.
I might go check in on Rowan for now.
Miko!
Yes? What can I do for you?
Did you get my letter?
I did. Very brief.
That's my answer.
Very short, straight to the point. Far less flowery than the language that some people would use. I vastly prefer it when it's straight to the point.
Well,
I suppose what leads
then
you
you
to
will enjoy letters from me.
what leads you to that conclusion?
The fact that I'm here.
The fact that you're
Nothing
here.
less than a consequence of my free will.
A very particular way of putting it. I see you were paying attention to my rhetoric.
I like paying attention.
You would not be the only one. I would say that is the best thing that I do. After all, listening is the first step to understanding.
Would you like anything?
Very wise word. Very wise.
Just some tea. Thank you.
Did you ever get a chance to catch that individual that I mentioned might have a different take?
Yes, but they were very surprised when I told them about that.
Oh.
I even know about that story. And they told me that they don't particularly want to tell me because they might be in danger if they tell me. But if I find something for them, they will tell me about. Also, they advised me not to venture too far along this road, or it might lead to the pit that I might not get out of.
You said that if you found something for them, they would tell you. What exactly was, or did I misunderstand what yours? What is this thing?
Knowledge about magic. Any knowledge, no particular.
Ah. Yes, that is.
So I would need
certainly
to find some.
That is certainly a tall order.
Funny enough, preferably someone as old as subject we discussed. Legend.
Hello, my dears. Hello, miss. You wouldn't happen to have a cup of tea, would you?
Yes. Yes, we can do that.
Yes, there should be still
Any
some.
particular kind? We have jasmine, peppermint, black, and chamomile.
I'll.
Anyways, where was
I'll
I?
take the black, please. And do you do like
Yeah,
the loose
actually,
leaf there?
if we are going to talk about that subject, perhaps
Right. Okay.
we might
Do
go
you
back
think you
to
could
our
just steep mine for a wee bit longer than just a touch?
place of solitude.
Alright. I agree.
Such topics tend
Thank you,
to
my
make
dear.
people a bit jumpy, I admit.
I agree completely.
I'll be stepping out, Rashida. I'll be back later if you need me.
And that's
Alright.
Commissioner, enjoying beverages?
I suppose your expertise of the land and everything else could be a good means for us all to better understand one another.
Oh, did I lose her? Oh dear. Ah, there you are. I thought I lost you. Alright. So perhaps let's start from the... let's start back a bit, then. So you asked her about the legend, and their reaction was to... well... in a way, I suppose I can't say that I'm surprised. It's not exactly a fun story. But they want information on magic from... remind me, from what kind of source?
Oh, they describe themselves as a bit of a scholars themselves, you know?
I got the same feeling from them.
Waning from this world, as they did put it.
Hmm.
For 80 years, no less.
Yes, give or take.
And they're trying to find the reason why. That's why they need any knowledge about magic. So they told me that if I find any knowledge, and in return to that knowledge, they will tell me the story of Black Lotus.
I see, I see. And they're looking for any particular kind, or at least was there something that particularly appealed to them? Well... I suppose the question is, in a way, is it truly fading away? Or is it just the kinds that have only ever been the ones that have ever been paid attention to, the ones that are fading? Because there are certainly some that are... There are certainly some that are not as potent as they used to be. The biggest one, of course, being Oracle magic, but to me that is not much of a surprise. After all, when the very idea of fate gets shattered, it is very hard for one to claim that they can look at it when it is but no longer a nice ordered row in front of you, but scattered every which way. Some would of course disagree. They cling to what makes them feel like they have purpose. There are many who have been practically enslaved to the idea of fate, that they can't even go about their day without consulting it. That if they were to stray even a step away from it, that everything that they know about themselves would fall to pieces. But that is not is not necessarily true. It's just what is told to them, and that is therefore what they believe. But there are many other forms of magic that exist out there. They may not be glamorous or life-changing, but I can certainly say that a number of them are more impactful to those that they affect in a better way than knowing the future ever could. I know of some things. I have seen some things. I suppose
And heard too.
Well,
You like listen to the stories.
yes. Very much so. Like I said, listening is the first step to understanding. And with the kind of life that I lead, you need to understand a lot. Are they looking for evidence of magic? Or are they just looking for a source on things? Someone to talk to?
I think they're looking for reliable knowledge that they can at least incorporate in their theory, because I bet they have a theory about why magic is
reliable.
playing out. So they somewhat reliable. It doesn't need to be grand or glamorous or life-changing, as you put it.
Well, I suppose before I ponder that topic too much more, you also said that she gave you a warning.
Yes. She seems to be scared of Black Lotus.
Well,
And, well,
I know why that would probably be the case for her, at least.
yeah.
After all,
And she also...
she is one of the reasons why she has the name that she does is that she is a kinslayer. Many of her highest profile targets, according to the legends, were fellow kitsune. However, if you were to look more deep into it, it was not just anybody, but it was usually those who were, if I were to put words into their mouth, were betraying the ideals and the legacy of their own people. Any kitsune that was dead by their hand was usually one that had some sort of tie to aiding or directly serving the interests of the Empire, despite everything that had been done to their people.
So...
There has always been a
Black Lotus
purpose.
was justful assassin. Or still are. But,
Justful? Well, I suppose that would be dependent on who you ask. If you were to ask me.
Fair.
Based off their morals, what they believed in, I would probably say yes. If you were to ask the Empire, an Oracle, they would probably have a different story.
Should I ask about this story someone who is probably closely related to Empire?
Possibly. You might be surprised at what sort of things that you would get. Although I'm not sure how many would exactly have a story like that. I mean, the most Empire-tied individual that I know of is Captain Varus. But I know he currently has his hands.
On teacher.
I'm sorry, on who?
Rowan.
Oh. In their case, I'd say they're one of the individuals that has been controlled by fate so long that they don't know how to think for themselves. They are the type that if I were to ask that, if I were to ask them that,
of someone who. Sorry, continue.
I asked them that you were there. I asked them that question of if they believed in free will, and the fact that they were horrified that I would even imply such a thing tells me all I need to know about them.
I think they give me vibes of very slight vibes. Props to them, they are doing it. But they're trying to pretend they're someone that they're not. For example, blindly following faith.
I don't
I
know.
had a talk with them after you left.
I see.
Last week.
I see.
They... Interesting answers on my questions, what I can say. For someone who blindly follows faith, they agree a bit too much on the point of probability of free will, you know? Even though they probably did not understand that I asked them that question, but...
Sometimes when people are caught off guard by something, they sometimes will answer in a way that is a bit more honest than even they realize. This far out from the Empire, its ideals do not reach as far. After all, so the odds of somebody answering in a way that is a bit more true to themselves is more likely than you think.
I agree.
But to go back to that subject, they warned you because they were afraid of them.
And they warned me to not follow that path too deeply, because I might find what I'm looking for and regret it.
Do you agree with that statement?
Certainly not. I will not regret it, that I know for sure.
Now that is a curious thing. I mean, I've given you my version of the story, and you told me that you believe it to be more than a story. With everything that I've told you, why would that be somebody that you'd want to encounter?
Because I always was fascinated by people like that. People that do good, but in a way that most people will see as evil. People that do necessary, but to detriment to themselves, without being able to make connections, friend. Because if someone like that would existed and exist to this day, they would be very lonely indeed. And I would like to meet them, ask their story. Not from legends, but directly.
Interesting.
What are they feeling? What are going through? What are they struggling for? Because when someone is in a legend, people usually think it's easy. Like, they're a legend, they can do stuff. They're heroes, they're villains, it's easy for them, but it's usually not the case.
No, it certainly would not be. Personally, if that is the mindset that you would have with such a thing, I strongly doubt that if you were ever to attain that wish and meet them, that you would be the kind of person who has to worry about them. Because with that kind of thinking, you would certainly make no friends with anybody who is deeply imperial with their way of thought. In fact, they would probably be horrified that you even implied that such a person could be good. So, on that front, I wouldn't worry about it. In fact, I would encourage it. If that is truly what you want, if you're truly wanting it, then I will certainly support you in your endeavor. I can't say I can do much, but, well.
Don't sell yourself short, Miss Miko.
Very well. Well, if you ever do manage to do that, I'd be certainly interested to hear about how it goes. What sort of things you were able to find. After all, I'm sure if you were, if I remember correctly on your implications, someone like them would certainly have quite the storied history of knowing a lot about the way that this world worked, including its magics and all the like. And well, after all, they would probably be a bit magical themselves. Well, actually, it's almost a guarantee. That's actually a guarantee, I would say. At the very least, they would know how to hide themselves. Sometimes right in front of people. Actually, not sometimes. That is a guarantee. That is something of a bit of an art to their people. A lot of them get passed down.
The best place to hide is in front of someone.
Yes, because that's the last place anyone will look for what they are searching for. Is right in front of them. They'll look every which way.
Unless they don't know how to look.
Exactly. They wouldn't know how to look. They wouldn't know. If they don't know what they are looking at, then they don't know that they are necessarily looking for it.
Yeah, that is correct.
But yes. If you are someone sympathetic to people like them, then I'm sure that some of the others who at least carry the knowledge of various kinds of magics, lesser magics at the very least, they may potentially be willing to share their thoughts on it. They may not necessarily show, but, well, there are certainly people here that know of things. And when you know what to feel for, you can tell just by being near them.
I see.
If I were to put it into words, it's as if everything would have a song, theirs would sing just in a bit of a pitch that is ever so slightly different from that around, that to the untrained ear would just sound like more noise in the chorus. But if you know how to pick it out, rings ever clear like a bell, piercing through the silence.
I see. I will definitely try and train my ears to hear the song.
Well, in your case, I don't know how easily that would be possible, given that there's no evidence, at least there's never been any case of magic in your world, from what I have been told. Such a thing would take time, but
Not
more
that I'm
importantly
aware.
so, in order to know what you're listening for, you need to see it for yourself. And that is the challenge. Getting people that have it to admit to it and then demonstrate it.
That's quite a challenge, I agree with.
It certainly is. And yet just
But
today
I will
I
try
was...
my hardest.
And yet today I was introduced myself to one who... I'd found evidence of it, but... well, they were very shy to... reveal such a thing. So, to honor their privacy, I would not lead you directly towards them, but I may mention you to them, at least. See what they think. Give them the reason.
Alright.
That ultimately your, in this case, your quest for knowledge of magic is to chase a legend.
Isn't that the best case? Legends are interesting.
That they are. I would certainly agree. After all, they are some of the best stories that one can tell. And you know how much I love those.
We have few of our own in our side of the divide.
Is that so?
Yes. We have a lot of legends and stories, to be honest. Some of them actually about kitsunes.
Yes, I remember you telling me about that. That there are a lot of the races here that over there are but stories.
Yes.
That I find almost amusingly coincidental. More so than anything else.
Yes. Well, as I said before, I guess humans won in our world.
Yes.
Legend. I can tell you a not similar legend, let's say, but the premise is close. Justful assassin, let's say.
Now this I am curious about. Go on.
That is not well-known legend, and if I would bet you something, no one here would know about it from our side. And if they were, well, I would have a lot of questions to them.
That's quite alright. I will take your word for it. I don't believe you have any reason to lie to me about a story.
I don't have any reasons to lie to you at all.
Exactly.
That is rude.
That it is.
A legend of a person named Acles. Acles. It is the name of goddess of poison. It is the name of dark god. That's like many could imagine. Poison being a bad thing. But actually, difference between the poison and medicine is the dosing. Usually. No one asks that. Person who took the name of goddess of poison were known in small circles in our world. And I, well, happen to know people from that circle and heard that story. And they are someone who were part of something larger. Part of organization, if you will. That the whole purpose of this organization were to maintain the balance in our world.
Is that so?
Maintain it, uphold it. And through various means and various branches. They had one branch that specialized on assassination, you may say. They have different kind of people there. Some were devoted to the goal, some were fooled into it, some were just for pure profit of it. It's depend. But Aklis were someone who excelled at that particular kind of art. From birth, she was interested in poison. She discovered a lot of things on herself.
This story is 100% about her, isn't it?
She discovered a lot of ways how you can turn something into poison. How can you turn poison into cures, actually. She discovered a lot of stuff. But at the end, and like her whole life, she was in this organization. Mysterious one that time and time again got her to kill in the name of justice, in the name of keeping a balance, in the name of
keeping a
moral.
Balance.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would
But
say
more
the
and
same
more-
thing about what they were doing here.
More and more time were passing by, and Aklis were starting to see the real picture. This all. That yes, sometimes she would kill someone, and it will change one part of the world to the better place, but other to the worse. And you might say that it is balanced. Some better, some worse, so balancing each out. But looking closely, she would see the profit that people in charge made from it. They would see that it was nothing more than corruption. Foolishness. Idealized to bring balance. To fool people to do horrible, horrible things.
So what did this individual of legend do when they discovered the truth of what their actions were leading towards?
After they discovered the truth, they left. At least tried to. Somewhere where no one can find them. Someone where this mysterious organization that has reached all over the world will not be able to reach them. And at the end of this legend, it's still rumored that Aklis is somewhere in our world.
I see.
Lurking shadows, now doing a bidding to cleanse the world from corruption.
I can see why you find similarities between the story that I told you and this one. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting indeed.
And that's why I found your story fascinating, because I love the story of Fireplace.
Makes sense. Well, it's certainly given me some things to think about. It has been a long time since I've heard a story that has caught my attention in a different way than I am used to.
Well, I'm welcome to present that type of story to you. Also, there's actually a rumors that Aklis is still alive. But that is, I think, out of the question. She was a human.
Yes.
But I actually don't know how long ago that story was. So maybe she's still alive.
No, the story I told you is of one that, well, the odds of them being alive are very much higher. They are among some of the most long-lived. Some would almost dare claim that they might even be immortal. Now, perhaps it's just that anybody would... Perhaps that just might be because anybody who would care to keep track of their age would be wasting their time. But...
Indeed, keeping track of someone's age, especially...
At least with the way that Kitsune...
Immortal would bother them with.
Kitsune, the way that they grow is they gain a tail, if I remember, about every 100 years or so. Up to 8. They can have a 9th, but the 9th one does not come with age, but with an act. One that is deemed worthy of ascension. Usually, in this case, something that would be deemed good by their own people. So, in a way, it is a bit ironic that the figure of legend is one of those who is of 9 tails.
Oh, ascended one.
There was another one before them.
I would be very...
I
would be very humbled in their presence.
There was another one like them before that, although there is not as much story out there about them, so it is harder to find that information. There was a tale of yet another. The 9-tailed disaster.
Oh.
It seems that there were 2 figures that at least have this storied history to them that would make most who think about ever meeting them shudder, to which you are clearly the exception.
Huh.
But there is a lot less information out there about them. I'd say it's refreshing compared to people that I've met in the past, so I am not judging you for it in the least. I am simply stating fact. Most would look at you and raise an eyebrow, at minimum, if you were to tell them the things you tell me. But I am not like most people, so I see no reason to
I'm glad you
hold that against you.
understand me.
More than you realize.
Touche.
Oh, you think you know a lot about me?
think I know enough. For now. Unless you want to tell me something more
Well,
about you.
now
Know
you
what
piqued
all
my
of us think.
curiosity to see just what kind of impression I have put upon you.
Huh. You want to hear what I think about you?
Well, you certainly seem to have a way of breaking down people, at least based off your perceptions of them. So I'm curious to see how close to the mark you are about me. I've certainly given you enough to work with. At least in our last conversation.
That's for sure. In this one too. Don't worry. I'm a very good listener.
You're learning.
Alright, let's begin. I think you are, considering your remarks, everything you say, how you talk about stuff. I say you're pretty old. Don't get
No offense taken.
And when I say pretty old, I say very old. That is fine. That leads me to believe that you are not human. Or I don't know enough about magic, so I don't judge it by now. So that's one thing. That's your age. It's all. I think you are very smart, very observant, and have a lot of experience, which derives from your age, my guest age. I think you have a burden on yourself, a weight that is becoming heavier and heavier. I think you care about people here. Some of them for sure. I think you're beautiful. Oh, I must have said that.
Oh, really? I see. I will keep that in mind.
I like your clothing and theme. Let's say gold, black, a little bit of purple.
I wasn't aware that was part of my overall personality, but I suppose I will take that with stride.
Well, we always choose our clothing, even if we don't know that, or what represents us, even slightly. If you look closely, you can see I choose my clothing too, like that.
I do, now that you mention it.
Okay. I think you're not easy to surprise, which can be derived from experience, but it's actually, I think, was your trait for quite a long time already.
Oh dear.
You're very curious in nature, Maybe even for your own detriment sometime.
Hmm. Well, I will certainly say you do have you have a number of interesting points to make. The one that I have most curiosity about, though, your theory about what I might be. It wouldn't be fun if I were to just tell you anything straightforward. I could just be messing with you, but if I were not human, what would you think I was?
I need to think about it. A minute. Give me a minute.
Very well, very well. And a secondary thing while you think. Would that change your perception?
I will answer your second question first. It will change my perception. It will enhance it.
I see.
Make me more interesting. Or make you more interesting too. That's it.
Oh
but
dear.
Not by much.
Oh dear. I would hate to disappoint them.
You're already very interesting to me. So.
Well then.
And the first question, who I think you are? I think you're a creature that... I mean, if you were to be...
we are speaking in we are speaking in hypotheticals here.
Yeah.
So, it will not take me the wrong way to speak directly about it. Of course, I will not confirm or deny anything.
A creature of predatory variety. What I mean by that? Catkin, wolf, fox. Everything along the line. Predators, not the prey. Considering your grace, I would say catkin. You're very graceful. Oh, I forgot to mention that.
Oh. Well, I will definitely take that one in stride. Although I suppose there is one question to your theory, if that were the case. I mean, and you've seen, I think you've probably seen Mr. Carrick around, Character.
Oh, yes.
How would I, where would I put my tail? Where would I put my ears? They would be so hard to just brush down, you know? They make it so hard to hear.
Our assistant of our mayor can hide their tail and their ears because they're, as they say, elven catkin. Because I accidentally stumbled upon them when they were.
And that was who again?
Assistant of mayor. Oh, very beautiful woman with stuff to hide her from sun, you know. Not Vixen, but other one. She's assistant of a mayor. I forgot her name.
Are you perhaps talking about Koyuki?
Yes, Koyuki. She's told me she's Elvin Ketkin. Of course I didn't believe her because she's a terrible liar.
So that's what they're going with.
But actually, if we think about it even more, knowing that I only know of one race that can hide themselves. For now. Well, two, if we believe Elvin Ketkin. You're either Elvin Ketkin or Kitsune.
Oh.
Or someone using magic. If it's not the same, actually.
I see. Well, perhaps one day I might answer that question. For now, though, you'll have to be left wondering. Because, well, where would the fun in that be? I don't want to be too interesting too fast. But
I even encourage it.
To go back to the original point of discussion, I do think there was one thing that Vixen did get right, is that the more that you look into that sort of thing, the more likely you are indeed to find what you are looking for. After all, if they were the one responsible for the death of that dwarf about a month ago, then that would mean that they were here about a month ago. Who knows where they could be now? And, well, if there is someone like that who's been alive a long time, then they are certainly good at listening.
They are good at many things, way better than I am.
Well, I'm sure you're good at things that they could never even dream of, given that you hail from a place that they have never witnessed with their own eyes. Unless they have, but that would be impressive in its own regard.
That would be very impressive. But I agree.
But yes.
I will follow that path and I will find them. And after I talk to them, you will be the first one who I will tell about them.
Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. After all, I do enjoy your company. And I feel like you'd be very excited to tell me about it.
I will be very excited to tell you.
In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised.
Even if I could do that, I will probably try to introduce you to them.
I would be careful about that. If you're meeting someone like that, that means there probably is a reason to it. If they start dragging other people there, then they might change their idea about you.
Oh yeah.
Besides, I doubt they'd be interested in someone like myself. After all, if I were,
of course, with
I
permission, if I even met
if
them.
I were what you think I might potentially be, then I should definitely be very afraid of them. Just like Vixen said. After all.
Do you misbehave, Miss Miko?
Oh, I misbehave a lot, don't get me wrong. In the way that they would disapprove of?
Noted.
No. In fact, I'm sure they'd be quite happy with it. But I cannot say. For I am just Miko. And they are far bigger than I am.
Fair enough.
Still, you are a very interesting conversational partner, I will say.
Thank you. You are as well.
Not you. Yes,
Alright. Well, I have certainly kept I am doing better about not getting myself holed up in my home for too long. Apparently, last time I did that, poor little Taya was beside herself trying to find me. Because I'm not one that usually stays in my home for a super long period of time, according to her.
Oh.
I feel like I would disagree with that notion, but perhaps they know more about me than I know about myself at times, but I do enjoy their company, so perhaps it's just that they miss it more often than others would. Let's see who's still here.
I see. Is this the same as having the sauce?
We can clean things that way.
Oh, okay, wow. There's a lot more people up here than I was expecting.
No, here they are.
Yes, that is quite a
Miko?
lot.
That was a nice talk.
It certainly was.
I was wondering where you got off to, my friend.
I got caught up in the very same reason why a week ago you were having such difficulty finding me.
Ah, deep conversations.
And that reason is named Dr. Yan.
Ah, I see. I did see you walk off with them earlier, and I was curious.
Yes.
I hope you had a good and pleasant talk.
Also, you could,
It was certainly interesting, I will give them that.
Rude.
In fact,
also,
I would love to.
Where we
I would love to regale you with it later if you have time.
things from, so you could get her.
Of course. Though at some point I am going to treat Dr. Natalie to tea. She apparently has not. She was talking about how in their world they store things in containers and different manners and stuff like that to keep food longer. And I guess they do the same thing for tea, but she's never actually had full fresh tea. Not like the way we have it here.
Well, you would certainly be giving them a good first experience with that regard.
You honor me, my friend. Well, if you like, I'm happy to go and sit and talk.
Sure.
One of you or Sienna, and I know Sienna's a slave.
If you wish to find me, I will be down at my shop.
Does it provide any other use?
Well, in our culture, it usually means you're a more dignified and person that people should respect more, basically.
I mean, you never
Could you
know.
acquisition me a
Hello.
tie?
Hello, you two.
Hello, Resner.
Whatever.
Well, you know what?
Anything goes at this point.
So then, my friend, what interesting things have you learned from our visitors of the other world?
Well, I can certainly tell that in particular individual is one who is very interested in natures of legend around these parts, as well as
Really?
their mindset is one that I find very different.
In what way?
Well, I told them about a particular legend. In a way, just because they seemed like the type who would appreciate it, but I figured it would probably be one that would scare them, lessen their image of how ideal this place could potentially be. And their response was not what I expected. Before I go into that...
What was the response?
Well, first off...
Continue.
It would help if you knew the legend in question. I was telling them the legend of the Black Lotus.
Ah.
Do you know of it?
Bits and pieces. I remember it's related to the kitsune in some way.
It is. At least telling a story of how the story of a notorious, well, depending on who you would ask, terror of the Empire and terror to their own kind. I told this.
Interesting.
I told this story to them, and their response was not one of being afraid. In fact, no. One, they believe that the legend is real and that they are somewhere out there, and they said that they would love to meet them.
How curious.
I tried directing them towards...
I must admit...
I tried directing them towards Vixen
Continue, I'm
to ask them about it, because I figured, why not just take my word about it, hear the story from someone else's perspective. And, well, Vixen is the only open kitsune out here. They're not the only one.
It's true.
I know there's at least one other, but, well... I guess I must be mistaken. They are some elven catkin, apparently. There are certainly not. There's no such thing.
Oh, believe me. Well, there are elven catkin, let's be real.
Fair
There's
enough.
not one that, as far as I'm aware,
That
and
is...
no, I know who you're talking about.
If that's a story they want to go with, that's a story I will respect. But I will still giggle at it either
That
way.
is her choice.
Regardless.
Indeed, it is her choice.
When Dr. Yang asked them about it, they got the response that was, well, they believed that, well, one, they didn't want to talk about it. They were afraid that it would put them in danger doing so, which I can understand a bit why, but they were thinking not just to themselves, but to Dr. Yang, that if they go too far down that path, they may find what they seek and that they would regret it. Dr. Yang disagrees with this notion, but apparently, in exchange for knowledge of at least anything about history or evidence of the true nature of magic, that they would be willing to tell that story to them.
Interesting.
I, of course, did not mention any names, but I know of a few people here in this town that hold knowledge, or can grasp it, in some people's cases. But that is up to them if they would want to decide to entertain such a thing, but they are of the mindset that seems to want to know if there is indeed truth to the idea of the decline of, well, magic in general, but especially that of the greater magics.
Yes.
I, for one, would love to find proof of that myself. That is in part why I am doing what I am doing.
It's interesting you bring that up, because Vixen herself, the previous week, mentioned something along the lines of she was looking into that as well.
Yes, and that
her curiosity.
That is probably why they made that a condition to telling the story to them. Well, in my case, this is what I think on regards to a way to prove. The biggest way to prove that the magic is declining is to find a way to prove that their idea... Let's say you want to prove that the magic of the oracles is fading. You can say it all you want, but there will be many who would starkly disagree. But what if you were able to put an oracle in a position where they tried to discern fate and failed? something changed that they couldn't expect. In order to do that, you would need an oracle. Which is why I put my name on that petition. I would love to try to see if it were possible to catch them in a position where they are not as able to see as they claim.
We just left him behind.
That would be one way to do so.
Because
whether or not
the truth of the matter is, it has indeed been fading to those who know how to listen. But
like you,
they will do anything in their power to ensure that that truth never gets out to anybody, because that would crumble the right to dominion that the Empire has. It would make all those who are beholden to fate, to the point that they can't act on their own, realize that they are the only ones in control of their own destiny. Because if the idea of fate shatters, then...
You speak as if you are very intimate and familiar with this.
I've had friends. However, I shouldn't say friends. That word is very particular to me.
Acquaintances, perhaps.
I have known people. People that see themselves as being able to do good with it, but their heart is far more pure and carefree than they were an acolyte last I met them. They probably still are. And as I told them, at least if it even makes it to them, they will never be any oracle. Because an oracle is not what...
Like everyone else.
The oracles do not deserve someone like them. But in knowing them, you become very familiar with, well, their kind.
Miss Rosita. Slime girl.
If I may, is this the friend you spoke of earlier, of this morning?
Yes.
Like half an hour ago at least.
The one who was your opposite.
Oh dear, I was up there.
In many ways, yes.
Perhaps.
But
I was gonna ask if she can show me around the wilderness for a bit.
like I said, that is my reason for wanting them to come. One, but most of all, to try to see if there is in fact a way to find proof of the theories that I've held for a while. To see if there is such a way to surprise one who is supposed to be able to see all.
That's a very serious question.
And yet here I am, nervous about them potentially coming.
Believe me, you have no reason to be nervous. You have friends.
I know. But even still, this... still worrying enough. Like the snow elves, people are hated.
Even still, you have friends. There is no reason that you would need to be worried, my dear friend.
I am
If
glad.
anything, the ones who would need to be afraid would be those who would seek to hurt you. Because they would not know what wrath would be invoked upon them by the people around you. They would not know what sort of beast they would be attacking in the process.
Then I should count myself fortunate to have people like that around.
I can certainly say that you would be very safe in that regard. And at the very least, no one is saying that you need to broadcast your magic to them if they were there. And if I were to guess, oracles are very blind in one particular matter, and that they would refuse to acknowledge that they are feeling any magic but that of what they are familiar with. They probably do not even know what non-oracle magic feels like. And even if they did, they would hardly be able to appreciate its gifts. May I really want to hit the toggle?
Still worries me.
I really want to hit the toggle. I am fighting every urge. This would be... God. But in your case, earlier today you spoke about a fear of something that you had done in the past. Does this have something to do with it, why you feel like you would be afraid? Or is it because that you have the ability to hold such capabilities in your palm?
Both. To know that I have this gift. To know that I can do so much with it. Yet, for everything that I can do, there are those who would just simply hate me for it.
Attention, you are entering
I suppose that makes sense.
Please have your blanket or pillow ready for deployment to ensure maximum comfort is achieved.
I can change the subject briefly if you would like. Back to the original one that I was bringing up to you.
You, if anyone, should have the right to know.
Only if you are ready. Fizzy, thank you for the raid! I love you!
When I was younger, much younger, it was when it first appeared, completely out of nowhere, on a whim. The people I was near and playing with scattered and fled, afraid of what I had.
They are fools indeed.
Later,
We were visited by a group of individuals. Let us just say that there were things better left unsaid of what they said. It was one of the reasons why we left Autumn.
I see.
Why we left and built Denin Erin. A place people like me have to be afraid of. Where we can live and share our gifts.
I see. And now you find yourself here.
And now I find myself here.
Well, I go back a bit to what I said before. But first, thank you for trusting me with such a thing. But, as part of that conversation, I asked a question out of curiosity to Miss Yang.
Yes.
And asked them what they thought about me from the way that we had conversed thus far, as we have shared quite a long few conversations now. One of them actually struck me a bit...
What did they say?
Well, a number of things, but one of them struck me a bit differently. Or rather, out of curiosity, and I suppose I'm curious to hear your own thoughts on that. Of course, you have a slight advantage.
Oh?
They are of the mind that I am someone who is experienced through age. They believe that I am potentially someone who is not human. And they narrowed it down to where they've had a couple ideas in mind. If that were true, what would that mean to you? Because that would mean that I am wearing a mask.
Regardless of what mask you wear, Miko, nothing changes as to how I feel for you. How much I cherish your friendship, your company, you.
Chat, only a very important D20.
Now, whether or not... Oh, I should say,
good.
You have already said and confirmed with me that you are one of the long-lived.
No. That's, is this a good idea making?
That can mean a few things. I have a guess or two. Whether or not you wish for me to make said guess is up to you.
I'd like to hear it.
Well, you are not necessarily an elf. You're not of the elfkin. You do not have the ears like I do. So that rules that out. Unless you have found a way to very much hide them from my sight, which theoretically possible, but I do not believe you are of the elfkin. Which leaves my other idea. One that makes sense with knowing what I've known about what I got to know about you, and what I have learned from you through what you've told me. you are a kitsune. Or at least, perhaps. But that would be my guess.
Well,
There are not many others that can boast a long life.
You and her definitely have a similar mindset then. That is what they said too. I didn't confirm or deny anything in that moment.
They've got it. You guys got it in hand, right? Fantastic.
Nor would I expect you to.
I guess it's
to you.
Hmm.
That could mean a lot of things. That could change a lot of things for you. If that were the case, would you feel happy, sad, safe?
I would feel like I know the real you, and that I am still happy to be around you. Regardless of whatever, if it is true, regardless of what form you take, what mask you wear, I still know you. I know the person behind the mask. I know who they are. No matter what persona they may put on.
Fuck!
Nothing changes that.
Oh, this is a hard decision to make. You certainly are a unique person, aren't you?
So are you.
More than you realize.
I realize something seeing you right now. Whether you are choosing to share it or not, I still see you. But know this, Miko.
Yeah, we have like whole rooms made of them, and like wagons on like metal wheels made out of pure metal that are thicker than these doors.
Should you choose to share this secret with me, I will keep it, and I will hold tight to it. As long as I live. It's your choice.
I can like throw y'all together like training dummies or like just bars if you want to try bending them.
I mean, yeah, sure. Actually, that sounds pretty good.
That is a very heavy thing you say there.
Fucking guess. Like, I'm gonna pretend like this doesn't look like an attempted break-in for both you and Mako.
Well,
if it
I don't
is
even think
an
you
attempted
needed to
break-in,
jump to try and slap that.
because it will be problems.
Shall we?
Don't do that.
What would we do?
Oh, no?
Let us step
Would you
outside.
like to go up?
But when it becomes dark, you know where I live, yes? I'd like your company later.
Okay, alright, sure.
I'd like to
Of course.
certainly talk.
Lutea, darling, are you in
And I
there?
will be there for you.
One moment.
She isn't she just lovely? I love her. She's so
I will
great.
not hold you up.
So accommodating.
Isaac is a very pleasant person.
Very pretty person too. Look at that. Gorgeous
That
eyes.
name of the song is
Yeah.
fitting
I will
right
be there.
Yeah,
now.
with the combination of both.
We got one of the
Then I will
here.
be waiting.
Ah, shit! That one.
Not that I'm aware of?
Yeah.
What's up?
Hello, Isaac.
You okay?
The large
Give him
chunk
that
of rock
disc
sitting
to
on my
happen
shoulder
again.
here kind of needs looking at. So
You have a
Not seen for a
This
while.
person
I
has
do, do
blood
I?
coming out of their shoulder. So much probably get on that.
That's fine. Look,
Right.
still in there.
Rings.
following. I'm not.
Am I really about to do this? I have never let someone who is not a target see this. And yet, it could change so much to have a true confidant. To have one who understands. One who knows who I really am. No mask. This would truly test if they are who I believe them to be. If they are faced with reality of who it is that they have let into their life. But if they react wrong, I couldn't bear to kill them. Even if they were to tell everyone about me. That is how I know I have made a mistake. And yet I want to keep that mistake. A decision is made. I choose to do with this information will determine whether or not I have made any lapse in judgment. feel that I may be being hasty in this decision, and yet, if it weren't for them being so direct about how they truly feel, I would not consider this.
You don't mind if I run?
Oh, go ahead, dear. Go ahead.
I'm taking my own way.
Drat. There are people out here, isn't there? I can come back later. I'll have to check on that one later anyways. I'll just have to get the one of the ones from there to replace the one.
Oh. You usually haven't gone out here at night. You said stay in the rooms and stuff.
I'm gonna have to replace whatever they pilfered out of my stash by the statue. What if I find whoever was digging around in there? I have to decide if they are someone I need to be worried about or not. She will open the lid, feel around for a spot inside, and slide away a false bottom to the chest. Reach in there, grab out a small vial. And remove one of the preserved lotuses within. They have to the me that most know before they can ever know the real me. I would let associate this face with that individual. To Miss Yang, she and I will be playing a game. As I believe there was a reason they told me the story that they did.
Her and him to go.
Funny that
We've got
they
two
are
people
together.
together.
And you can enjoy something there, or do we have time?
I know.
Hey, you didn't.
Crowded.
We can share it together.
I'll make plans to
I'm
return.
not too interesting in that sense. Nothing really that big happened on my
Would have loved that.
I
Miko!
appreciate the company.
Hello,
Miko.
I will be with you shortly.
What did you learn today?
Lovely, y'all lovely
Tea.
company. If that's what you want to hear.
Yes, I enjoy it quite a bit.
I can introduce you.
I did too.
Yeah,
I was
right.
going to step
I guess
inside
there's
for
one thing. I
flattering
guess
tea, but sure.
I know, but
Real
Oh my
fast.
gosh, there's so many people in there. What the hell?
Yeah, I know. So
I didn't realize how many people were in there before.
That's
Lotea's tea is
person
quite
that
wonderful.
walked
Why would I say that?
in is my friend Natalie.
Are we having a party?
Yes, I've met them a bit in passing.
We're spilling the tea.
No, I'm not going to say that, Riley. You damn well know that. I'm not going to say that.
No.
You know what? I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to share something else.
That's
By the
and
sound of it.
how are you doing? You're spending
By
your
the sound
evening?
of it, and by how everything is
Oh,
looking,
night
I will
already.
try my best to help. Make sure that everybody in this town for the
It is
the coming
generally
winter
calm.
will have a
It
place
may
to
get
stay.
a bit
I'll try my
more
best to help build
interesting
things,
later
and
for me.
Apparently, my dumbass made a deal to
Who
now see the
knows?
first special
Really?
building that, of course, if it should be all agreed upon by the mayor
Time
and
with
everything,
a dear
is going
friend.
to be a bathhouse.
We got a bathhouse, everybody!
With Lotea, perhaps.
Madam
Perhaps.
Mayor,
Wait,
Madam
wait, wait,
Mayor,
wait. There's a line here. There's a line.
I have made.
She's
I
next.
have
I
talked
see.
with people.
I have made a
I've
request.
talked with
Latte is
people
quite
that
popular.
You should be okay with it. I'm gonna
That
first
she
put
is,
this
that she is.
Everybody has a house to stay with over the winter to make
What
sure that
have you
nobody
learned
freezes.
today?
Spill it.
Oh,
And
if
then
the
if
door's going to be wide
everybody
open, I
should
might as well
agree
invite
or
myself in. This sounds interesting.
That's
One of the
right.
main buildings that I'm
I
going to
forgot
buy
about that 'cause
built
it was
for
an
the
acronym
first
I didn't
for what
understand.
everybody
My bad.
enjoys.
Wait,
Is
where's that?
supposedly
I
going to
don't
be a
know what's
bathhouse.
another thing.
Of course, only if you're okay with it.
I am so fine with it. You are amazing.
She's on the table.
Yeah, I
She's been
thought so.
walking around.
I very much thought so.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I do have an
Mistress of
engagement to
tea
go to.
herself. One
I
thing
do.
before you
That's
leave.
so much
One
better.
thing. A quick thing.
Might
You
have
are the mistress
overheard.
of tea after all.
It's very kind of
You
you.
have an obligato.
Remind me then, what am I sharing with you all?
It's not that boring.
Go,
Come on.
Miko.
One thing you learned today.
Something you learned.
One thing I learned.
Yes.
today.
Hello. It's nice to meet you. My name's
That I
Natalie.
have
Natalie
a
Ashio.
dear and
One
wonderful
of the
friend.
Yes.
researchers and scientists.
You learned that
No,
today.
that's
You didn't know it
yourselves.
last week.
Flatter gets you.
Are you alright?
Let's
to meet
see.
you.
Oh yeah, I'm
very good
turning
person.
back and
Yeah, I
forth
feel
between
like
both of you.
Let me move over here if you're going to do that.
Okay, now
Save
I can
your-
do it much easier.
Save your neck the
Nice
pain.
to be reminded.
Yes, I am simply Miko, one of the staff at the Crystal Heart.
This is your art.
Ah,
Yes.
I don't know where my tea is anymore.
I will see you later then, my
I've been making very lovely acquaintance with Dr. Yang here.
Ah, she had mentioned she was coming to speak with you.
Yes, they are someone who has a very interesting way of thinking about a number of things. They have been very fun conversation to have.
Oh, just there was a story that was once told to me, and at one point during the story, there was
a wide variety can lead.
Are you wanting some, my friend?
Interesting.
in the middle of the tea.
No, I'm just
What?
really happy.
Of some of your fare.
I'm glad.
I'm not standing. I know what people are thinking. I'm not standing.
I was asking if she wanted some tea.
Oh, I see.
I have this jar.
How do you
right
like
here.
it, Natalie?
It's great. Thank you.
Of course.
Can I have some?
People always say that my tea, after drinking it, always makes them feel more refreshed. I'm not entirely sure why, but they always say that, and it always puts a smile on my face.
Certainly a mystery indeed.
You should do the floss. Fucking Landry on this too. Come on, all the UN.
This is your thing. Don't you get me? Don't you get me involved with this?
Go stand by Landry.
If you wish to use your words, would you be a coward if you did not do it?
Right. You got me there.
I like you on bad. You got the one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
How do you want to do this?
Speaking of talking, did you manage to find all the hunters that you were looking for?
Once or twice.
No, I didn't.
Chamomile for you.
I managed to find some of them, but the UN side things just kind of fell apart, and then the people who I wanted to go on a meeting just kind of weren't around.
Oh.
I prefer not doing anything that causes me to bend over. I don't want my stitches to be blown out.
Miko.
Down and you all do it at the same time.
They're at least aware that I wanted them to have a meeting, though.
Me and Landry will start.
My house is in good hands with Iceheart.
I see.
They're at least aware, though. So,
Do like a right,
I do have something to
right,
attend to.
hands, okay?
in charge as well.
I'm not doing that one. I'm gonna start hitting my. I'm gonna blow out my stitches.
Okay, alright, well.
Everybody, we should encourage them. Say the word floss over and over again until they do it.
Okay, floss.
Three, two, one. Floss.
Stop! Red, stop! Please! I feel like I escaped something.
My house may never be the same again.
I don't even want to know what they're talking about.
I don't either. But what matters to me is that they're having fun, and that they're having... all that matters to me.
Yes. I had made sure that I could actually get up to the area this time. Remember I had you come up here and I had said that you, there was a place you'd probably find interesting sometime?
Yes.
Well, I actually went to the effort of making sure that I could actually open the windows. There's quite a few interesting places that you can get to when you're looking at it from up on the top of the buildings. That's not where I want to go. Right here is just fine. You are familiar with flowers, yes?
I am, yes, very much so. Perhaps not as much as my father, but I am aware of them.
Still, Do you know much about this one? In her hand is a preserved black lotus flower.
Yes, I am.
You know of its properties?
The more common one, perhaps, at least in recent memory. Poison. Although, primarily more so deadly for those of the old and the young. Not so much for the hale and hardy.
But do you
A
know
beautiful,
its...
deadly flower.
But do you know what it stands for?
Does this have to do with the story you were mentioning earlier?
Perhaps.
Perhaps not as much as I probably should. A flower like this is uncommon. Rare, much like the Eternal Rose. The Eternal Rose is much more rooted in the Elvish culture. Whereas this one, more like legend and myth.
Would you
Not
like
often
to understand more about it?
Yes.
Then I suppose, what would be the question that you would ask them?
You are beautiful.
That is the first thing that you say after seeing something that no one else ever has. You truly are strange.
Would you expect anything less from me?
No. That's why you even get to see this. That is why I say that there won't be any that hurt you. You have friends. You have dangerous friends.
But friends nonetheless.
And why I say that your hands are covered with the ability to give life. Mine only take.
That is not true.
Look upon me, Notea. You see what is in front of you. There is no more mask on, no more shroud.
And what I see is a beautiful person.
That person has been long gone. For many, many hundreds of years.
No, they aren't. Because I see them in you. This form of yours changes nothing, as I said it would. Doesn't matter, Miko.
Even if I were to tell you everything that had happened, I know exactly how it happened.
Which thing?
What you hold in your hand. The reason that you've seen it recently.
Now I understand. the moment you showed the flower. Understood. But it doesn't change anything.
And yet, you would be friends with a murderer. One who was once...
I would be friends.
Pure as white, stained black by the amount of layers of blood upon me.
Do you trust me?
If I didn't, you would be dead. I trust very few.
I know. Whether or not your deeds are what they are, it doesn't change anything for me. You are a friend to me, and you will remain a wonderful, dear friend. For as long as we choose to keep this friendship, I want to continue this friendship. Because you deserve someone in your life to make your life brighter, to be a light in your darkness that you can look to and find happiness.
I am beyond such things.
No, you're not. If you believed that, Miko, we wouldn't be here.
You are so
We'll be that
incredibly
light for you.
irritating to me. You know that? That you say exactly what's on your mind without a care in the world.
I say the truth.
Then in that case, if this is truly what you believe, truly what you're willing to stand by,
I am.
then that thing I told you about, finding a way to prove that they are blind, no matter how much they deny it, that is not something that I can do alone. I've done many things alone, for a long time, over 1,000 years alone. I've lost count. But if I have people helping me, then perhaps I can make it so that people that live in the shadow of the Empire can walk freely. My people able to walk without fear of persecution. People like you, who carry gifts far greater than that the oracles could ever claim to hold in their miserable little hands. They would be able to be accepted as the wonderful people that they are. But in order to do that, the blind must be made to see. They must open their eyes to the truth that what they have been told for hundreds upon thousands of years has never been. It has only been what has been wanted of them. You could help me do that. And live a life that you've deserved for far longer than you have been given. If not, I will not speak of it again. We can go back to pretending that there has never been this conversation.
I would be willing to help. My biggest concern is I don't want to hurt Miko, you know this about the drow. You should know this. Me. I will stand by you.
I have seen your gifts.
Should you have me?
No matter what path you follow down behind me, your hands will remain clean. You will not have to hurt anybody. These hands are far too dirty, though. If I have to hurt in order to protect that which I have grown to care about, I will. That is a promise that I will make.
I know.
If you are going to follow in the footsteps of that which makes the Empire fear for change, you will have to be close to things like that potentially. But so long as I have my own way in it, you will only ever have to help people. Help them heal.
Is that a promise you will make?
I will. I have done this for a long time, and I have felt no remorse for it, for I believe that what I do is for the right reasons.
You live a strange world.
You cannot change things without being willing to sully yourself sometimes. That is the way that I learned. And yet, one of the biggest things that I feel I have to sully myself is that I have to do this. It never bothered me before. Not until you. You have changed a lot about me in such a short amount of time that I almost considered you dangerous. And yet everything that I asked of you that was a test of who you really are, you kept answering in a way that I could not deny. And this was the final one.
Then you have my answer.
That I do.
And I will stand by you.
Then when it comes time for when I have the ability to act, you will be one to know. Admittedly, there is at least another that I am testing. They have a different test in mind. But I want to see a world in which you can truly smile. Not just the smile you give me, but to everyone else. Where you can say that you are not having to wear a mask of your own. Because everywhere you go, whether or not you see it, you have gloves chained to your hands, hiding the true nature of what they are like. And that bothers me greatly. Everywhere I go, I wear a mask. Nobody has ever met the real me. And even to an extent.
Until now.
Even that, in its own way, is a mask. But one that has been caked with so much blood that I cannot remove it.
Then perhaps, one day. Don't know when.
Perhaps we shall see. Perhaps you might be the reason that I, even a demon like myself, could be cleansed.
As I said, I will be the light in your dark. The beacon you can look to.
I'm glad. You should probably go check on the rest of the people that have currently crowded your home. I've told you what I needed to.
Miko. Do you fear for me? That you will lose me somehow? Or do you fear that you will lose more of yourself?
From the moment that I brought you up into this room, I had feared that I might lose you if you knew the truth about me. Now I just fear of what may happen because you do, and that has not changed who you are in the process. I won't admit, I will admit, in fact, that knowing me as this is inherently a dangerous thing to know. But as I told you in your home, the ones who would have to be afraid are those who would try to hurt you for what you know, for what you can do. I did not get the reputation that I did because I was gentle.
I know. And should they try to hurt you? Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
If it comes to that, it is certainly a fate that I have long deserved, but they've tried many times in the past, set many traps for me. They've never succeeded.
I know.
You don't need to worry about my safety. I have cared for myself for a long time. I've made it this far. I have no intent of stopping anytime soon. But to answer your question properly, yes, I do fear losing you, but not through your actions. Not now. But there are still some who, if they were to know, if they found out some way, well, there is a reason why I've never stayed in one place for very long.
Now I understand, but why?
Whenever I left, it is because my hands have gained a new layer of red before it fades to black. This is the first place that I have remained after doing such a deed. And admittedly, I was considering leaving, even with the opportunity that these outsiders present. But something stopped me. Something that I have never had before. Or at least if I have, I've never recognized it. I think you know what I mean.
I do. And I am glad that you are here. I'm glad you stayed.
Just as your secret is safe with me. What we have discussed here does not leave this room.
Your secret is safe with me, Miko.
Very well.
There are those in the town that already know my gift. I chose to show them because I believed I could trust them in the way that I felt I could trust you. And I know them enough that they would not betray that. Nor will I betray yours. And as I said,
if the wrong
I will be here.
If the wrong people were to hear, I would have to leave.
I know.
Because I would much rather not put you in a position where you would have to witness more pain. Because there are plenty who would want me dead.
I know.
And they would have every right to want that.
I know. I know.
And in helping me, you could very well join that. Bear that in mind.
I know.
For now, you too are one of the flowers of that garden.
Hello, everyone. It is 5 minutes until hard end. We will ring the bell when it is time.
But we will discuss all this later. The plan that I have. This desire, should the opportunity arise. But first I need the pieces in the right place. One close enough where they can be maneuvered. I would need an oracle. And I will promise you this. If that day comes, I will keep you safe. They will not lay a finger on you, my dear.
You will forgive me, but I did not hear what you said.
It's all right. For that plan to work, I would need an oracle. One that could be positioned, maneuvered, put in the right place. And if that day comes, I promise you that you will not have a finger laid upon you by them. Not them, not their gods. I will ensure that. However, I need to do so. But now that I have an ally in that, I can properly start to plan for that ability. Because you may be the key of
An unlikely ally.
You are the key, potentially, to doing something that I have only ever dreamed of. for many, many years. But for now we are just Lotea and Miko. Just Miko. Plain, boring Miko. Come along now. It is late after all.
It is indeed.
And if you choose to keep that, by the way, do make sure that it stays well hidden. I would hate for people to think that you were somehow responsible for what I did.
Do not take it with me for that fear. I left it there for you.
Noted.
Hmm.
Then I will see you in the morrow.
I will see you as well. You are rather beautiful.
Perhaps one day I will agree.
And I will endeavor to make me have that day come. Hear you say those words.
We shall certainly see, won't we? Goodbye.
Good night.